I just got laid off. Today is April 8th, 2025. I actually got laid off yesterday. I got laid off yesterday. I got pulled into the office by my oversight, and she essentially told me, we're dropping all of your portfolio. We're no longer working with them, and they'll have to go with a different company, and your role has been affected. So there's that. And if I'm entirely honest, I knew that this job was never like a long-term situation for me. So I'm not really bothered by the fact that I'm not going to be working there anymore. I just feel like the timing is kind of tough for me because I'm financially in a relatively shitty position. And I feel more so bad for the more senior staff that's also been affected by the restructuring of the company. In any case, seeing somebody who's, well into their senior years get laid off and be in a vulnerable position and have to figure out what they're going to do for their livelihood and their family is one of the most humbling, heartbreaking things that I could ever imagine, especially when you've given well over, 2 decades to a company and to an organization. And it's
all right, it's official. I am being laid off. Just received my preliminary reduction in force notice that I am, what's the word? Notice of recommendation not to reemploy for 2025-2026. You are receiving this notice either because you serve in a particular kind of service that is being reduced or eliminated. So, can someone please just explain to me how the teacher of the year gets laid off? And yes, I am upset. But I think I'm so angry right now that it's going to take me some time to sift through these emotions. I love my students. I always will. That's it.
Good day, everyone. Today we're diving into something serious, something that is touching every American household right now. The massive wave of layoffs happening across the US in 2025. Big tech, healthcare, retail, even government sectors, nobody seems safe. So why is this happening? Who is being hit the hardest? And more importantly, what can you do to survive this storm? Let's get into it. First up, let's talk numbers. Over 3 million layoffs have been reported just in the first quarter of 2025. Major players like Amazon, Meta, Walmart, and even healthcare giants are trimming their workforce. And this isn't just a tech problem anymore. It's everywhere. The main reasons: economic slowdown. Growth rates have flatlined. Companies that expanded like crazy in 2021 to 2023 are now shrinking. Secondly, AI automation. A lot of jobs, especially in customer service and logistics, are being replaced with AI and robots. Thirdly, corporate restructuring. Many companies are reorganizing to cut costs and stay afloat. And lastly, global instability. Conflicts overseas and ongoing supply chain issues aren't helping either. It's a perfect storm. Before moving on, let's watch this video.
Major news today that American companies are already laying off workers because of Donald Trump's disastrous tariffs. Here are the two companies that have laid off workers in the hours after Trump's announcement. First, Stellantis, who makes Ram trucks and Jeeps, said on Thursday it was temporarily laying off 900 workers at 5 U.S. facilities. Now, what does temporarily mean? We don't know, but it seems they might be permanent if these tariffs stay in place, which Trump is telling us they will. Also, Whirlpool in Iowa announced their largest layoff of 2025 in their Amana manufacturing facility. This is what happens when you implement tariffs as haphazardly as the Trump administration has done. The costs of goods that companies use in their products, even if they're made in America, go up. That is the reality of tariffs. And the reality of this situation is that your goods, my goods, will go up because of one guy, his name, President Donald J. Trump.
Now let's break it down by industry. Firstly, tech. This one's obvious. Companies overhired over the pandemic boom and are now paying the price. Secondly, retail. Major chains are closing stores at record rates as consumer spending slows down. Thirdly, healthcare. Ironically, even hospitals are laying off administrative and support staff due to financial pressure. Fourthly, finance. Big banks are cutting roles because of weak investment activity. uncertainty and rising interest rates. And lastly, manufacturing. Automation is in overdrive and production is slowing. And yes, even government jobs aren't fully safe. Some local and state agencies are facing budget cuts too. And now, who is being affected the most? Now, here is where it gets personal. Older workers over 50 are struggling to get rehired. Ageism is real. Gen Z and millennials. Entry-level jobs are drying up. Fresh grads are finding it harder than ever to land their first jobs. Minorities and marginalized groups. Layoffs are affecting people of color and women, especially in industries like tech and retail. And contractors, freelancers, and remote workers, they are often the first to go. So how are people surviving? Before we move on, let's take a look at this video.
With all the layoffs happening federally and otherwise, because it's not just federal employees being laid off, and also with the news of a federal employee unaliving themselves after being laid off by the current administration, the king of the layoffs, I've been laid off 3 times. In my opinion, there's no difference between a layoff and a firing. It's just nicer wording, I suppose. I wanted to give some tips on how to survive a layoff. Seeing, I feel like I'm an expert in this subject matter, or at least knowledgeable. I won't say expert. But anywho, first thing, whether you feel like a layoff is coming or not, you should always be prepared. You should always have your resume done. There's AI sites like Earn Better, and I'm sure there's other ones that you can get your resume redone without having to pay someone. And you can also, they also have job listings where you can customize your resume to the job that you're looking for or applying for. So always be ready. Also, if you feel like a layoff is coming down the pipe, or you know a layoff could potentially be coming down the pipe, that's your time to start looking for jobs or looking for ways you can earn money outside of working.
So people are surviving through gig work, Uber, DoorDash, freelancing platforms. They are seeing a surge. Secondly, people are moving back home. Multi-generational living is way up and people are moving back to their parents' home. And thirdly, upskilling. Tons of people are heading back to school or picking up new tech skills online. Lastly, side hustle. Etsy stores, TikTok shops, you name it. If it can make money, people are trying it. But let's be real. For many, it's about hustling just to survive, not to thrive. The truth is, these layoffs are painful, scary, and frustrating, but they are also a wake-up call for how unstable the economy can be. If you have been laid off or know someone who has, you are not alone. Focus on building skills, building community, and building resilience. And most importantly, stay informed, stay hopeful, and stay flexible. What are your thoughts? So what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. And thanks for watching. Bye.